Prepare a pathway for the Lord's coming. Make a straight road for him. Fill in the valleys. Level the mountains and hills. Straighten the curves and smooth out the rough places. And then all people will see the salvation sent from God. Hello there. Welcome to our Wednesday reflection. I'm on the path from Flashwood that goes down to Doggerland, and you'll have seen there's a nice view from here to Dalry, which is looking nice in the sunshine today. The words from the Bible that I read to you are from the prophecy of Isaiah in chapter 40. But you find them again in various shapes and forms in Matthew, Mark and Luke's Gospels. And it talks about the work of John the Baptist, preparing the way for the Messiah to come, for Jesus to come. He's a voice shouting in the wilderness, and he's preparing the way. He says, get it ready. Get the path ready, get the road ready, make sure it's fit for travel. Make it all suitable for the King to come. This path, I think, is very old. I think it must be here for many, many years. And at this time of year, you definitely want your wellies or a walking boot or your walking boots on. As you can see, it's wet and boggy today, and the further you go, the worse it gets. The best time to walk on this is right in the middle of a very dry summer, although some sections of it still stay quite wet then, or when there's been a hard frost like we had a few weeks ago and the ground is frozen. The season of Lent is a time for us to prepare for Holy Week and Easter, to do without, to deny ourselves, and we'll be hearing something more about that during Sunday service in words of Jesus. But the hymn writer Charles Coffin put it very well in his hymn On Jordan's Bank. In the second verse of this hymn he says, "Then cleanse be every heart from sin, make straight the way for God within. Prepare we in our hearts a home, where such a mighty guest may come." It's a hymn that we often sing in Advent, but it's also appropriate for Lent. In Advent, we're preparing our hearts for the coming of Christ. And during Lent, we're taking the 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus spent in the wilderness to prepare our hearts for the holy season of Easter, the sorrow and the joy. There doesn't seem to be any sign of a very straight path out of this coronavirus pandemic, but we just have to take it a day at a time and a step at a time. And another hymn that occurs to me is that it's one more step along the world I go. Keep me going through the good and bad, the smooth and the rough. So I'm going to continue along this path. You have to be careful where you put your feet. Don't want to slip. But it's a glorious day. The sun is shining. And though there is a wind, I'm hoping that I'm well out of it along this path, which is quite sheltered on both sides, as you can see. Further on, it's going to get even boggier, so I'm going to stop filming at that point, lest I slip and we have an upset. I do hope that you're enjoying the various resources that we've put on the church Facebook page during Lent. Can I remind you that there's a lovely daily reflection in the one called 40, and there's also the getting outside for Lent resource. Last week was trees, and I hope you've been able to get outside and enjoy seeing some trees. I enjoy the trees that I find along the way here in a few minutes' time, and I do hope that you will have a chance to see some trees, some flowers, to hear the birds now that spring is definitely on the way on these milder days. We'll make the most of today, because I think tomorrow is to be a return to the wet and the dreich. But in the meantime, I wish you God's peace. May peace be with you, and I'll look forward to seeing your comments when this is posted on Wednesday. God bless you all.